السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. The next chapter, sub-chapter within the chapter on jihad is باب في بيان جماعة من الشهداء في ثواب الآخرة ويغسلون ويصلى عليهم بخلاف القتيل في حرب الكفار. The chapter, so Imam al-Nawawi gives some explanation in his chapters. So the chapter on explaining a group of martyrs, shuhada, when it comes to their reward in the next life. But they are washed and they are prayed over as opposed to the ones who are killed in a battle against the disbelievers. So that's his chapter. And then he begins the hadith. So I'll explain what that means, inshallah, after I explain the hadith. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, the messenger of Allah said, ما تعدون الشهداء فيكم. Says, who do you, he was asking his companions. Because the messenger of Allah, sometimes when he used to teach, he would ask questions to the audience and he would want to see what their response was. Or sometimes it's to just get their attention so they're paying attention. So he said, who do you guys consider to be the martyrs from amongst you? قالوا, they said, يا رسول الله من قتل في سبيل الله فهو شهيد. The messenger of Allah, whoever is killed in the path of Allah, that person is going to be a martyr. قال إن شهداء أمتي إذن لقليل. He said, if that were the case, then the martyrs of my community would be very few indeed. قالوا فمن هم يا رسول الله. So they said, so then who are they, O Messenger of Allah? قال من قتل في سبيل الله فهو شهيد. That whoever is killed in the path of Allah, then he will be a martyr. ومن مات في سبيل الله فهو شهيد. And whoever dies in the path of Allah, the difference between killed and dying, whoever dies, meaning a natural death in the path of Allah, فهو شهيد, is a martyr. ومن مات في الطاعون فهو شهيد. Whoever dies in a plague, he's considered to be a martyr. وَمَنْ مَاتَ فِي الْبَطْنِ فَهُوَ شَهِيدٌ. Whoever dies due to some type of stomach illness, that person will also be a martyr. وَالْغَرِيقُ شَهِيد. And a person who's drowned, who dies from drowning, will also be a martyr. رواه Muslim. This hadith is in Sahih Muslim. So the Messenger of Allah, he explained this group of people, that there are people who will get a reward that is similar to the reward of somebody who dies on the battlefield fighting in the cause of Allah through different methods of dying, provided that they are either in the path of Allah or because their suffering is great and they have the right intention and they have something in their heart that gives them the rank of shaheed, and because they were killed due to some type of injury or some type of disease or some type of thing that happened. So what the scholars call this is, they call this shaheed duna shaheed. So this is a martyr. What's the right way to translate this? No, not in this category. Duna means besides. Okay, a martyr as opposed to being in the category of a martyr. So basically there's a shaheed hukman. There's someone who is a martyr, and there's someone who gets the status of a martyr. But this is important to differentiate, because the martyr who dies on the battlefield in a battle, there's very strict fiqh rulings when it comes to how you deal with their body. And this is one of the main differences. One is maybe potentially the amount of reward. When it comes to the difference, the rule in Islam is that a person who dies on the battlefield fighting in the cause of Allah, that's considered to be a correct jihad, that person, their body is not going to be washed. So what's going to happen is you don't perform ghusl on that person, and you're going to bury them in their clothing. But the rule is, if they don't die on the battlefield, if they die of wounds that were afflicted on them from the battlefield, but then they're carried off the battlefield and the battle is over, and they died in their tent, or they died in the hospital or something like that, they're still, inshallah, going to get the reward of being a martyr, but they will be washed. And they're going to be buried in a way like a normal person. They'll be washed, they'll be shrouded, they have a shroud on and everything like that. So this is the idea of someone who has the reward of a shaheed, someone who has the Islamic fiqh ruling of a shaheed. So it's important to make this differentiation between these two categories. So it shows the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the mercy of the Messenger of Allah in explaining to the Sahaba. He says, you know what? Allah is so merciful, He has opened up this idea that people can get the reward of a martyr, even though they're technically not exactly in the same category as what we understand a martyr to be. So that there's more martyrs in the Ummah. So many people are going through this right now, our brothers and sisters in Gaza, our brothers and sisters in different parts of the world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept them as shuhada, accept them as true martyrs. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove the tyranny and the oppression. Ameen wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.